Oh, no worries. Yeah,
Recording in progress.
I didn't know how this was going to go in the basement too. By the way, you can see. Look at that trim work. Look at that.
I see. You did all that?
Yes, sir. It's a mess
Nice.
from Christmas right now, but
I
basement
love it.
remodel. Yeah, man.
I love it.
Oh, here we go.
You ready to go?
First
All
video of
right.
2022, baby.
Oh, 2022.
Ambitious minds. Oh, by the way, did you like the little you like the new, video what do you even call it, like overlay
Yes.
thing? Is
Yes.
that cool?
Yes. Super dope. Super
Yes.
dope.
Right on.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's up? Man, it's 2022. Welcome to Ambitious Minds. For those that have been with us, man, thank y'all for continuing to join us. And we're super excited about this year, as we talked about in our last episode. And for those that are new, welcome. Our main focus here is just to, bring up some relevant conversations and really help current and up and coming leaders and entrepreneurs just be amazing at what they do. And we try to do that through some relevant topics, and also try to bring on some guests that will help give into that cause as well. So if it's your first time checking us out, welcome. My name is Eris, and this is my boy BD Brad. And yeah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. Should we do like a who we are, or should we just send people back to our first video?
Check out the first video.
Okay, cool. Right on. I like it. I like
Uh,
it. Yeah, man. No, life is good. Life is good. I know we're going to bi-weekly videos for this year, which I'm super
yeah,
excited about. And then in between those, release weeks, we're gonna do some live videos and stuff on Instagram and be able to interact with you guys, which is awesome. I love being put on the spot, so let's do it. Let's do
sure.
it.
For sure. So I,
Uh,
I think me and you talked, man. I think of course, everybody's starting off the year, New Year resolutions. I got goals, and this is gonna be my year. Like, everybody is big on that every single year. And I thought, what better fitting topic to kind of go ahead and discuss with our potential goals. And I know something that me and you've been doing for the past probably been like 3 or 4 years now is doing a word for the year.
mhm.
Now how good we've been actually good at keeping those words, I don't know, but that's been something that we kind of learned from John Maxwell and kind of been sticking on to. So
Yeah.
definitely wanted to hop into that today.
For sure, man. Did you want to kick us off and kind of go through some of the goals that you had set for yourself for the year, and then if you have a word picked out already, kind of diving into that and what that's going to look like for you?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start off with my word for the year. I actually was struggling. I think I shared 3 words with you that was actually really in between. It was authenticity, intentional, and execution. Okay. Um, so I knocked off authenticity, not saying that I'm not going to be real this year, but I kind of knocked that off. And I was really struggling between intentional and execution. So this is what I did. Okay. So one of my goals is to intentionally execute. Uh, so,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? I got that silence. So my actual word for the year is intentional. And, there's a lot of categories that I want to be a little more intentional in. But over this past year, I think a lot of us are in a similar boat. I feel like I've been doing a lot of drifting, right? I've gotten a lot done, don't get me wrong, and I've grown a lot, but it's kind of just been kind of going with the flow,
Mhm.
right? And I think, with COVID being the thing, with the world not 100% being back to where it is, it's easy just to drift and float. So this year, I want to be a little more intentional about the things that I do. So I'll give you the top 3 things for me right now is faith, relationships, and then my health, right?
Mhm.
So with faith, I think this year I had a lot of learning opportunities this year when it came to my faith, but I want to be more intentional with my time with God, right? So, I know we all struggle with this in the morning. We check our phones in the morning. The first thing we're doing is checking Time Hop, Insta, or Facebook, or even emails. Like I'm guilty for the emails, man. I look at my notifications, I see them emails, and I'm scrolling through all of them, trying to answer all of them. And I haven't even hopped into my word yet. Now, I will say this for anybody that's listening: if you read your Bible, it is not it's not mandated that you read it in the morning. But I just feel like that's what works best for me and kind of sets my day up. So I want to intentionally spend some time with God in the morning. I think the thing I'm trying to work through now is one, what does that look like? And then, how long is that going to be in order to really, get that going? So that's a big one with my faith, and they, of course, continue to be involved in, our local church, continue to be involved in that. With relationships, I actually want to try to do something different this year. I want to write down who I need to connect with weekly, who I need to connect with monthly, who I need to connect with quarterly. So weekly, of course, would be like, my mom and dad or my grandparents, because I slack on I slack on that a lot, and I want to make sure that I get that back in. Monthly might be some of my, mentees that I have, or with you, even though we're going to talk weekly, monthly getting together, right? Yeah. And whether it's doing, the podcast or just hanging out, because I ain't seen you in forever, man.
I know, it's crazy.
You got a whole new swag and everything going on. You got a whole fiance, and I haven't seen you in a minute. And then quarterly, just, maybe it's building new relationships, right? So building some new connections. But then two, there's just some people that, I do care about in my life that we just don't have the strongest relationship, and I'm okay with that, because I think relationships are different, have all different levels of kinds of relationships. So there's some people that I want to make sure I connect with quarterly, just to, hey, check in, see how they're doing. So relationships, that's going to be big for me. And then just being intentional, what am I doing with that time when I am connecting, whether it's in person or, via phone? Am I intentional with my conversation? Am I intentional with my time? Am I making it quality? So that's one. And then health has always been something that's been a goal of mine. But one thing that I'm actually trying to filter through this year is, what am I actually willing to do? And that's a hard one, man, because I want to say that I'm willing to work out 7 days a week, but I'm not. And then the first week I don't work out 7 days a week. Then it starts to dwindle down to 4 days, 2 days. And then I'm just back to eating snacks and not working out. So that's the one I'm really trying to work through a routine and get out of my mind of painting the picture of what I wanted it to look like, what I really wanted to look like, and realistically what it can look like. I might not be able to make it to the gym every morning at 6 a.m. Now, I potentially can, but then I also know I have some work things I have in play. I also have a family, so I have to take some of those things into consideration. So yeah, man. So overall, I'm still working on a few, but that's, my main focus this year is, how can I be intentional? How can I make sure the quantity of time I've had is been spent with some quality? How am I making that quality? So, that's me this year, man. That's me.
I like it, man. That's awesome. That sounds great. And actually,
what about you?
Perfect timing. My furnace just kicked on. Does it still sound okay?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, man. It's funny, as I was listening to you talk, and we have very similar ones for the year. And even just like your intentionality and what that consists of for you is almost
I may have copied a couple of yours because you sent me yours first.
Oh, good, dude. No, that's perfect. I was like, dude, I'm like thinking the same thing, man. Like, that's weird. No, but so here's the thing, though, man. So my word for the year is truth. And I know you text me, and I got wrapped up during the holidays. I know. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, when I pray about it, and I feel like what has God been putting on my heart, for this year, and the word truth is just, what kept coming through for me. And so I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to see, when we're talking at this time next year, I'm going to have a better understanding as to why truth was my word. But I'm going to walk with it, man. I'm going to see what it's supposed to mean. I have a decent idea just for how it has applied to me thus far. But just being honest with myself, man, and just, truth in terms of staying true to who I am. And 2021 was a year of change for me, and a lot of adjusting and adapting.
A lot.
Yeah, man, there's a lot. So just truth for who I am, and we'll see what else kind of comes of it. But I think it's going to tie into my next word, which is faith, similar to what you said. Uh, I'd say halfway through 2021, especially like my relationship with God, the way that I was interested in the Word had just grown and changed exponentially. From I've never been interested like I am now in any other time in my life. And I look for truth in Scripture now more than I ever have before. And actually picking up my Bible and being excited to read.
Yeah.
And then thinking about how so much Scripture applies to present day. And not even like in the conspiracy way and things like that,
Yeah,
but,
no, for
but
sure.
just in like everyday life, man. It's like I think that's why truth has been laying on my heart so much, and it's because I'm searching for truth in a different aspect. So those two kind of go hand in hand for me, and I think that's going to be really big for me for 2022. And then intentionality, like you said, so it's the same thing. It's like, man, like, who was it who said, I think it was John Maxwell, he said he does was it weekly coffee or monthly coffee meetups or something like that? I went and listened to him.
I think so.
Atlanta. Was it
yeah, there's a lot of people that really do that. You talking about like meeting somebody new, asking them questions or something like that?
Yeah, or just like meeting up with somebody that I hadn't seen in a while and like to rekindle that relationship. Like I need to start doing stuff like that again, man. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's just like, hey, we haven't seen each other in months. Like, let's just go grab a coffee or something. Like just get a chance to reconnect and sit down with people and being intentional with those relationships with the people that I want to have in my life. And it's just about carving out the time to do it too. I mean, I think that was always my biggest excuse. Like, when am I going to, no, like I want to go home and sit down and scroll through TikTok for a half hour instead of going and doing that. So just being intentional about those things, and I'm excited about it. And it's not even for like a business reason either. It's just like personally, like these are just things that I feel like I'm being told to do. It's the weirdest thing. I feel like when something's been weighing on your heart, or if it keeps coming up in your mind over and over again, that's for a reason. So to do it, it's like what's that saying? Somebody's like, if you're ever thinking about somebody out of the blue, and you think that you're thinking about, oh, I should text them or I should call that person, you should do it, because like intuition's real, man. And for whatever reason, that person might be needing that phone call that day. So I don't know.
It's so funny. I did that once. It was actually a couple months ago. I had text somebody. I was like, "Hey, I haven't talked in a while. Just want to let you know I'm proud of you, X, Y, and Z." And then the person immediately called me, and I said, "Oh, I'm at work. I can't pick up right now."
Don't call me.
You were just on my mind. So
that's funny. But a question for you though, because I know we talk a lot about how goals are great. In fact, I wrote something down today. It said, "Goals create a real future." That's why we set goals. Goals create a real future. So these things that you're writing down that are, your dreams and the things that you would love to see happen. And when you write those down, when you set those things as goals, it creates a real future. And understanding the power that manifestation and, putting your energy towards these things has, it's real. It's real. Like doing the vision boards and things like that, man. Like there's a reason why people do those things. It's because you're subconsciously seeing these things that you're pursuing and these goals. And I personally, like, I do vision boards every single year. Leave it in my office, and I kid you not, man, and not being dramatic or anything. Every single year, by the end of the year, like I can cross almost everything off that board. It's crazy. It's amazing, seriously, and you kind of get some good reflection during that time too. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I was going to ask you. It's like you want to have specific goals, like more detailed, right? So maybe it's personal, professional. It doesn't matter. But like, what are some of those really specific things that you really want to put some focus in and intentionality into for 2022?
See, that's the part that I'm actually struggling with right now. I think the closest thing that I have to it right now is the relationship piece. I know weekly I want to start make sure that I talk to my parents, my sister, my grandparents, right? Because that's not something that happens weekly, and I know that's one that I want to make sure it happens weekly. But then making sure I have quality moments all the time, but making sure that I hopefully make some type of memory with Cameron Emery during that week, right? It could be something small. I mean, whether it's game night or something like that, just making sure that I'm in the family business of making memories,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's a big thing for me. But I think what I also shared with you is something that I've been challenged on this year is okay, I have my big overall goals, right? What am I going to do this first quarter of the year? What am I going to do this first 90 days? And it's more challenging than I think, man, because just as much as you say, what was the quote again that you used? Goals make things real or something like that.
Goals create a real future.
Okay. So goals create a real future, right? And when you were saying that, I was like, well, if you follow those goals, it creates a real future. If you just write them down and never do them, it's just a fantasy, right?
Right.
And that takes me back to what I said about you can't be intentional about things you aren't willing to do. Right. And I think what I've done in the past, I've gotten in trouble with is I set these BHAG goals, these big, hairy, audacious goals for the year.
Audacious.
And
I like
it's
that.
it's the other word, right? Big Chris would be so proud.
Yeah.
But then I get to November and I'm just like, shoot, now I gotta try to play catch up. Right. Yep. Instead of being like, okay, this is my big goal for the year, right? These are my overall big goals. Okay, how am I going to break this down? Mm-hmm. Right. And now I'm going through the mindset now of thinking about SMART goals again. Yep. Right. Where you think it's super corny at first, and then you just like, oh, specific, measurable, attainable. What is R? Realistic. And then timely, right? Yep. And so I'm trying to go through all these things, and you're like, shoot, I don't have that set. And so I won't lie, that's a major excuse me. That's a major focus for me this year is trying to get that set. And I need to have it done. I have a call with my leadership coach next week, and I need to have it done by next week. And so I need to be intentional about getting that done. But yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Mm-hmm. Is I'm trying to break it down because I can make things sound good. Don't get me wrong. I can make my whole year sound like it's about to be phenomenal, right? Mm-hmm. It's about to be a crazy breakout year. But the last thing I'll share about this is an exercise that I actually had to do before the year ended is I had to write down about my breakthroughs, right? And breakthroughs not as in I'm gonna make a lot of money this year. If that happens, that's great. Or I'm gonna be super successful this year, whatever the case may be. It was more so of where am I lying to myself, mm-hmm. and what am I avoiding, right? So when it was coming to lying to myself, I think that's one of the big things for a lot of people that set goals, including myself, is we set these goals because they sound good. Yeah. Or because if you did complete them, you probably could have a whole different life, right? Mm-hmm. But the lie is that you're not intentional about doing it. You don't plan on really doing it. It just sounds good. It sounds good to put it on a piece of paper. It sounds good to share. That's, one thing. I mean, I'm sharing it now here, but that's actually one of my plans this year is once I officially write down what my goals are, I think this is going to be one of the first years I try to just keep it to myself, share it with Cam, of course, but kind of just keep it to myself. Yeah. Because I think we fall into that, that social media thing or just in overall, I just want to share what we're going to complete instead of showing that we completed something. Right. So maybe that's the approach I want to take is once I've completed one of my goals, like, hey, this was actually one of my goals this year. I completed it. Yep. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. So I know yours is a little more detailed out because you sent me a list. You got like 20, and one of them cracked me up because I have seen this game step up. It's your swag, right? You talked about your swag and the way that you dress. You got some plaid pants that you wore the other day. That's super dope,
bro. Thank you. I appreciate the love. I'm so glad somebody noticed, man.
Now I'm giving all the credit to Emily though.
Bro, no, and she's gonna be listening to this right now, and she knows. I told her, I said, Dapper all 2022, baby. I said that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So shout out to the Sheen Shine, however you pronounce it, specials.
The
Got
Sheen
like
Shine specials.
it's
What?
like a Sheen.com or something like that. It's
Okay.
like a clothing store. And I don't spend more than like $8 on a shirt. So shout out to
Nice.
them because
Okay.
I don't pay I'm cheap, man. So,
They carry
trying to
grown
do
man
this.
sizes.
I think so, dude. I
Okay.
think so. They run a little small, I've noticed.
Yeah.
For
See,
me. So we'll
I
see.
need grown man sizes until I
Man,
get to those slimmer sizes.
I'm like, man, this size normally fits me. I guess this is telling me I need to have a diet on that
Um,
list too. So we'll see.
um,
But no, yeah. So yeah, mine are kind of all over the place. So I have a lot of personal and professional kind of mixed, all this stuff. A couple I could definitely highlight though, especially in light of the goal planning session that we did this morning with our office,
yeah.
is just specific goals for my business. So we just rolled out our end of the year numbers and everything. So I kind of have some year over year stats now to compare to.
That's super
And
dope.
yeah, dude, it was an awesome, life changing year for sure. And actually, it's funny you mentioned where you're talking about knowing what to share and what not. Because when I did my end of year post for my real estate page, it was like, thank you for everybody that trusted me to assist in their transactions for the year. I ended up closing 33 transactions. I chose just to say the amount of transactions and not the sales volume. And like I've
Yeah, for
mentioned
sure.
my sales volume like on here with us and our viewers and stuff because I personally don't care, but I just never want to. I don't know. It's like I didn't feel like that was right because if somebody wanted to try and go through and be like, "Oh, well, he made X amount of
The
money."
internet is forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, he made X amount of money and all this stuff, and I'm like, but it ain't about that. Really, like 33 transactions is huge because like that's 33 people that I had a chance to work with this year.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, like if we're being honest, transparent on this podcast, then I'm going to use numbers because that's the reality, and I don't care. So I mean, uh, I closed just shy of 5 million for the year in 2021. I was just shy of 4.8 million for the year. So my goal for 2022 is to be 5 million plus for
Nice.
2022. Amount of transactions, I'd like to have right around 35 plus,
Yeah.
which that would make sense, um, but that's like the bare minimum, and I think every year is just going to keep growing higher and higher to whatever I can do. So I don't know. I don't know because I'm going to end up changing markets eventually and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. So there's going to be a lot going on, but that's a specific goal that I have for 2022. And then a lot of specific things with the brokerage too, man. Like I've mentioned on here before, is just bringing some things that really worked for Planet and what you and I did and what we were good at,
Yeah.
honestly, and bringing it over to a new industry and how can we apply some of these things. In fact, we had our first Monday morning kickstart call
Yeah.
for our office this past Monday, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome. In the memo and stuff, like it turned out great. I got some good feedback, so we're gonna try and roll a couple new things into our scheduled time every Monday morning, and it's awesome to see an idea come to fruition. To start out the new year, people are engaged, they're involved, they're excited about it. So some of my goals kind of revolve around that too.
Yeah.
Is getting some processes in place for the office as a whole. Uh, Personally, man, it's getting married.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a big one.
For sure.
Getting married, I gotta fit in my tux, so I gotta stay healthy. I'm with you, man.
You got an extra. You trying to get an extra slim tux?
Bro, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to. I don't know. I don't know what she's ordering me. We'll see.
She ordered it.
I
All I
don't
gotta say
know.
is, all I gotta say is, don't be showing your ankles, bro. Wear some socks.
Oh, I'm wearing
Wear
socks.
some socks and don't have a flooded tux.
No, dude. She showed me some picture of a tux on Pinterest, and I was like, oh, that looks dope. I would love that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like fitted and like all this stuff. And I'm like, all right. Here we go, I guess. But no, I would look sharp. So we'll
No
see.
carbs, no carbs for this year.
Bro, no joke. At least till September 30th. And then Was it
Uh,
October 1st, baby, carving up. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this year. And one thing I was thinking about the other day, and I saw somebody post about this, is they were like, I don't like New Year's resolutions. I don't like this whole concept of viewing the start of a year as like this big reset, and like,
yeah.
because it makes me feel bad about my accomplishments and the thing I did this current year. Because I'm like, well, I'm gonna do so much better. But you know what I think
Mhm.
it is for me every year, and I've noticed this in myself is the holidays roll around and I totally fall into this like falling out of my good habits.
Mm,
I stop my workout routine and I just blame it on it's the holidays.
yeah.
And it's like I'm feeling good because I'm around friends and family. The holidays is a wonderful time, but a lot of the work that I put into prior to, I lose that consistency during that time. So when the New Year's rolls around, I am totally like, oh, I'm gonna get back on my grind. I'm gonna get back on the
Yep.
consistency that I had with working out and all this stuff. And it's not even that it's been gone that long. It's just the last month I haven't been doing it. So now I feel like this new year, new me, like I got to pick it back up
Yeah.
again where I was. So, um, yeah, I thought it was an interesting outlook though too, because it's like, yeah, 2021 was a great year. I'm not gonna downplay it and be like, new year, new me, but there's definitely always opportunities that I want to highlight going into that next year though too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Maybe that's the thing. It's just new year, new opportunities,
right,
right? Because it's like,
exactly,
you say new year, new me. It's like, well, what's the me that we had last year?
right, exactly.
Um, but no,
Oh,
I definitely feel it. But I also put it this way, right? Depending on your lifestyle, depending on where you live, right? If you're going to see family, you don't live close to family, there are a lot of changes that come up with that. I think
mhm,
one thing that I try to plan for when it comes to work now is, okay, what are some obstacles that are possibly going to hinder me this year from hitting some of these goals,
yeah,
right? Not necessarily what's backup or what's plan B, but how do I prepare myself not to be completely thrown off?
mhm, yeah,
Right. Because I feel like that's always an opportunity that I have. But I think in general, a lot of people have that opportunity is when it comes to the goals, you can't always factor in distractions
right,
or surprises,
mhm,
right? For that couple that wasn't expecting a baby this year and then, gets pregnant halfway through the year, but had all these other life goals and things like that. It's like, okay, cool. You can't always plan for those distractions, but how can you make your goals simple enough that if distractions do come up, it might be a challenge, but you can still accomplish those things.
mhm, yeah,
And I think we get too focused on trying to make it complicated and above the top. I'm not saying don't stretch yourself. Please stretch yourself. That's the only way that you grow.
mhm,
But that I think that realistic piece, that R and that smart goes right. I think having that realistic piece really allows you to think through, okay, what possible distractions will I run into this year? Right. Say I have to do some traveling. I know for me, like when I travel, bro, working out, doing any type of walking besides walking to the next restaurant or walking to the next
mhm,
excursion or something is
yeah,
the only thing I'm worried about. And so it's like, okay, well, how do I keep up with that? And just because I'm on vacation, does that mean the things that I've been trying to do better with eating wise or things like that, does that completely go out the window? Right. And where do I give myself some grace at? As
right,
in, I am on vacation. They have this special thing here that they don't have anywhere else. Like, I want to give that a try. But
yep,
then how do I fall back in line to what I need to do? So
yep.
yeah, man, it's interesting.
Well, and I think to that point, it's allowing yourself or giving yourself some grace, giving yourself a certain level of grace. So it's like when you go and you do it, enjoy those things that are going to break away from your consistency or whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Understand that it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up so bad while you're doing those things. Enjoy it because you know that it's not doesn't happen all the time, right? So
Yeah.
don't suck the fun out of it just because you feel bad about it. It's like, no, enjoy it because you know what, next week, you're gonna get back on where you need to be. It's no big
Yeah.
deal.
Because
So
everybody falls into that. Well,
that's
I fell
life,
off.
man.
What's the point? What's the point?
Right,
Why?
exactly. No, that's life. That's life.
Yeah.
And there's no better time to start than today.
Yeah.
So now I hear, oh, one thing though
What's up?
that I have to bring it up because it's I don't know if it's on that list I sent you or not, but one of my goals for this year is to diversify a little bit, and I
Okay.
want to have, 3 to 4 income streams
Yeah.
consistently, and real estate being the main source. But I want to be able to have some alternatives. So I've been really into the crypto game,
Oh Lord.
and like NFTs and the metaverse stuff. I'm just starting to like understand it a little bit, because what got me onto it though, man, was I saw the amount of real estate, virtual real estate, that was being sold on the metaverse,
Yeah.
and like the costs and stuff of some of these things, and I'm just like, what in the world, like what gives this thing value, right? So I went like head first into researching all this stuff, and I definitely don't know if the metaverse is something I'm interested in at this point,
Yeah.
but NFTs and the crypto game and stuff like that, that's definitely something that I'm looking into for the new year. So we'll we'll see.
It's interesting. You said you wanted to know what gives it value. I think this is the craziest thing in the world, right?
Hmm.
Is cryptocurrency and everything. I have nothing against it. It is what it is. I'll probably eventually get into it one day too. But it's so amazing. We ask what gives things value. We give it value.
Right. That's
We
what it is.
somebody says it's cool. Somebody said
Mhm.
that hey, we should move away from banks and we should do this, whatever. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, but then everybody just hops on one train or the other,
Mhm.
right? There was this one, I think it was a TikTok or maybe it was just an Instagram reel, but this girl was talking about people saying marriage is pointless, it's just a piece of paper. Okay, and so she was like, okay, cool. Well, if it's just a piece of paper, give me your car insurance forms, give me the deed to your house, give me the money out your wallet, because if we're just talking paper, it's just paper, right?
Right.
Things become valuable when we give it value,
Mhm.
right? And so it's super crazy how we're valuing technology right now, and stuff that, like I said, this could go totally left with some people that watch this, but things that aren't technically there.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
like, and that's why I love cash, because I can physically feel the cash, I can see the
Mhm.
cash, versus when it's just floating around. Like I said, but this is me saying this and not fully understanding how crypto and all this stuff works, but it's just crazy how we've transitioned into valuing what I would say isn't really there.
Well, let's do this then. For this year, let's get somebody that's heavy in crypto and on the podcast to talk about it and better explain it to us and the viewers. I
For
feel
sure.
like I've gotten a better understanding of it now in terms of like its real life application. I think that's what gives some of these crypto coins values, because they have real world application,
Mhm.
between the blockchain technology that supports the coin, is being used by real companies. So uh, I don't want to get too into it because it's a slippery slope. But
Yep, I was
um,
already confused.
yeah, dude, no. So
You
we'll
said
have to have somebody
blockchains and
here.
coins, and I thought about Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm just like,
Dude,
well, I don't
I'm,
know what
I'm
you're
telling
talking
you,
about.
bro. You start doing some YouTube University, and I think we're gonna see a lot of people really take advantage of the opportunity that we're in right now. I believe that this space, the crypto, the NFT, the metaverse, this is like the what is it, like the 99 internet, right? When
Mhm.
things people are like, oh, this will never catch on, this
Yeah,
isn't going to be anything, and now we live on it, right?
yeah.
So I think we're really in the beginning stages of a lot of these things, crypto included, and I know that's been around for several years now. But I still think it's at these baby stages, for our time frame. So
And it's super tough too, though, because you think about it, and you want to try to get in on the ground level, right?
mhm,
Because that's what a lot of people say now about Bitcoin, right?
right,
People that got on it when it first started, they kind of reaping their rewards on right now, depending on how much you put in and stuff like that, because it has dropped and then went back up,
right,
and I think that's always the hard part for me. Like that's the risk part that I really want to work on is, do I hop in now? right? Or do I see some other people lose all their all their money and they will just go and try to hop back in to see what I can do? And so it's definitely a challenge, definitely a risk factor that has to be taken into that. But then also just, you know, that's one of those things where I feel like you kind of got to go with the flow because you can't control it. I
Right.
mean, to a certain extent, I guess you can't really control it. So,
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, some of the stuff is just speculating, and it's like, and
Yeah.
you want to risk. It's like going to a casino, man. It's like, say, some of the stuff is
See,
like
that's why I don't
that.
be going.
Right. I don't either. That's why, like, I avoided it for a long time. But some of them aren't so speculative. Like, some of them you can start to see. It's like a stock.
Yeah.
It's like, so. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a fun year. I think we're gonna have a lot of content, a lot of things that we can talk about this year, and I'm excited. It's gonna be
No,
good.
most definitely, most definitely. I know we're gonna have a couple posts that come out today. You know that y'all. We just want to hear what y'all goals are for 2022. If you have some cool, do you believe in setting goals? Do you not? We want to hear from y'all. And we've said this before last year, and I'm going to continue to say it this year. Our biggest thing is to kind of build this tribe and this community full of people that just want to grow and be better. Once again, whether it's in entrepreneurship, leadership, um, that's why we started this whole thing. Was one for us to connect more because this is my brother, but then also just for us to continue to learn from each other, grow, and become our best version of ourselves that we can be, and reach our fullest potential. So
Yeah, yeah.
be on the lookout for that. Get involved with us, follow us, subscribe, like, do all the right things on
All
those
the
things,
things, wherever they
wherever
are.
Brad is going to put it.
Yeah,
So yeah, you got anything to wrap us
yeah.
up today, B?
I don't think so, man. I think this was great. Here we go, 2022, ambitious minds. See you next
Peace.
time.